Okay, good. So as I say, put on your speakers if you want to put on your speakers. If you want to say something during our session, or if it's too soft, just let me know. So let's start in our cross-legged position. Just getting our ankle to ankle alignment and working the knees down towards the mat. And then just placing the back of our palms onto our knees and just drawing our navel towards the spine and lengthening up into the spine. And then just dipping your chin down slightly so don't have it up here. You just want to flex the neck. You want to have it nicely flexed forward, slightly. Don't drop it down, but just here. And then just closing our eyes and just bringing awareness to the body. Just focusing on what are our knees doing, how does our body feel? And then just drawing navel to spine, just activating the core. And then feeling any tension in our shoulders, just dropping the shoulders down and working the armpits down towards the hip bones and lengthening the spine. Just feel, are you tipping forward? And if you are tipping forward, just start to work your way back to the center. Just finding your center. Don't lean back, but you just don't want to be tipped forward. And then just bringing awareness to the breath. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the nose. And inhaling to the count of 4. And just holding the breath to the count of 4. And exhaling to the count of 6. And inhaling to the count of 4. Just holding the breath to the count of 4. And exhaling to the count of 6. As we exhale, just relaxing the shoulders more. And for those of you who know your Jaya breath, remember that ocean breath, cobra breath. And you want to bring that into your practice, here's a good time. Just bring it into your practice as you inhale again to the count of 4. And just hold to the count of 4. And exhaling to the count of 4. And last time, inhale again. And hold. And exhale. And then just opening our eyes. Just opening the eyes. And now I would like you to extend your arms out to the sides and just make sure that they are parallel to the mat. You don't want to bring them down to here. You want to bring them up to here, activating the back muscles. And we are going to open and close the hand, flicking like this. So let's start. Go. And as you do this, bringing awareness to the breath. quick open and close the hand, the fingers. And inhale, bringing the hands up to the ceiling, to the sky, dropping the shoulders. And exhale, palms facing down this time. And then begin. Keeping those arms parallel to the mat. Working those knees down. Remember to breathe. Use your Ujjayi breath through this. Quite intense on the forearms, as you can feel. And inhale all the way up. Inhale, hold. And exhale. And inhale, filling the lungs, dropping the shoulders. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, placing the hands onto the shoulders. And then start rotating the elbows forward, round, back and down. Together. Forward, round, back and down. Together. Getting those elbows to kiss. And last one. This time bringing them all the way down, round, and then up, together, down, round, up, together. And release. And then drawing our arms up to our ears, making our biceps and our triceps nice and tense. And release. And inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And down. Last one, up and release. Forward, round, back and down. Forward, round, back. Try trying to really pinch those shoulder blades together. And now going forward as you swimming in the ocean, butterfly, really rounding the back as you do this. And last one. And then just placing our right forearm down onto the mat. And if you can't get down onto the mat and this knee wants to come up, just place your hand flat on the mat, open up your chest, and then extend up. If you can work your way down to the mat, then do it like this. It all depends on your flexibility. Some days we are a little bit more flexible than other days. And some sides, left and right, are more flexible than the other side. Just rotating the arm in a little 360-degree circle, and then changing the direction. And then just placing the palm onto the back of the head and rotating the forehead all the way down towards the knee, placing the elbow onto the mat, and just make sure that the seat bones don't lift as you do this. Keep your seat bones grounded onto the mat. And then working your way back to center, coming up and then over to the opposite side, placing that forearm down on the opposite side, opening up and then rotating in your little 360-degree circle, working through the shoulder, through the arm, and making sure that that right knee doesn't come up, keeping that seat bone grounded, and then working in the opposite direction. And then placing the palm onto the back of the head and working the forehead down towards the knee. And working that elbow onto the mat or the carpet. And then working our way back to center, coming up. Now that we're a little bit warmer, lengthening in spine, drawing navel to spine, and walking the fingertips forward. And trying to work the forehead down onto the mat. Make sure the seat bones don't lift. If they want to lift, just push back, come back a bit, and then come down. If you can't come all the way down to the mat, that's okay. It's all a work in progress. All about your journey on the mat today. And then walking the fingers over to the right side of the knee. Working the forehead down towards the knee, or down towards the mat. And then back to center and over to the opposite side. And then back to center and all the way up. And now just placing the knees onto the mat. We get to where we are today. Placing our knees onto the mat. And we're just going to do a forearm stretch. So we're going to place the palms onto the mat, but the fingertips facing the knees. You want fingertips facing the knees, and then gently move back and stretch out the forearms. Don't overstretch, but go to where you feel this is a good stretch. I can feel it. And then coming back to center. And then again, working your way back. And back up to center. Right, let's start with our first pose, our gate latch pose. Inhale, all the way up. Roll the shoulders.
I'll leave it out.
Over to extended leg. And inhale up. And exhale over to the side.
Hey, I'll leave it out.
And exhale. Reaching over to the side. Working those obliques. Use the core to hold on and slowly bring it back up again. And last, reaching over. Parallel to the mat. Front, extended leg out front, and nearly hip bone on up. Inhale. As you exhale and come over, try to open the chest. Don't fall forward. Keep a nice open chest. Reaching over to the opposite side. And inhale up and exhale. And exhale.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Lock the core and keep the hands parallel.
Penny.
Arms parallel towards the mat. And inhale. Make sure that the arms are parallel and not extended out. Them together, drop the shoulders and exhale. Try and come up slower this time. And exhale. And inhale. And release. This time switching over to the left side, extending that left leg out, extending that right leg out into your side plank. And inhale, lifting a bit higher, reaching over, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale, all the way down. And switching over sides. Extending the left leg out, and just planting the right palm underneath the shoulder. If you want to stay in this position, that's also okay. If you would like to go down onto your forearm, you can also do that, as you know. And then extending that leg out and working your way down. And inhale up and exhale down. And inhale up and exhale down. And inhale up and exhale down. And last one, up and then lower all the way down. Good. And then again, placing the palms firmly down onto the mat, spreading the fingers, making sure that the knees and hip bone are nicely stacked underneath each other. Locking the toes. Inhale, lifting 10 centimeters off the mat with the knees, so your knees are coming up off the mat. And just holding. And then pushing back into your downward facing dog. So you might find that it's a little bit tight in the hammies. Just bending then the left and the right knee for a stretch. Just stretching them out. Stretching out the lower part of the back. Make sure that the fingers are firmly on the mat. Just walking it out. And then rolling over onto towards the wrists into your plank. Just readjust. And make sure that you're not dropping or you're not up here. You want to be here, pushing through the shoulders. Wrists underneath, wrists in line with your shoulders. And we're going to reverse it now. We're going to start dropping into our upward facing dog. Pushing up through the wrists, through the shoulders, and gently rocking forward and back, and forward and back. Make sure the shoulders don't come up. Don't fall into your shoulder like this. Push up from the shoulder, forward and back, and forward and back. Activate the core. Make sure that the core is supporting your spine. And then working your way up, rounding the spine and pushing back into your downward facing dog. And then back over onto the wrists. And lower down from the pelvis into your upward facing dog. Raise the right leg and point. And place it back on the mat and lift the left leg and point. And keeping it off the mat, rolling over and up into your three-legged dog. Now in our three-legged dog, working the grounded leg, sole of your foot onto the mat, bending that right knee, working the heel towards the glute, and then twisting over towards me. So you're getting a side stretch now. And then back to center. And up, flex, down to the mat. Extending the left leg up, bending that foot, working the heel towards the glute, and then twisting over to the opposite side. Working the sole of your foot down, opening up the hips, and back to center, and extending up, and lower that foot all the way down, bending the knee, looking up. So as you do this, work the seat bone towards the back of the studio to give you more of a spring. You can either step or jump. And then inhale all the way up. Bringing the hands together into our Kali Mudra and into our back bend. Arching over and back. And exhale, forward fold. Working the forehead down towards the knees and trying to keep the hands on the mat. If you can't, just bend the knees to bring you towards the floor. Or if you have your yoga blocks, use your yoga blocks. Or just place hands towards the shins. And then inhale, halfway lift. So halfway lift, you want to aim for a nice flat tabletop back. And exhale, forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, look up, and either step or jump into plank. And inhale, and exhale, lower down to either knees, chest, chin, into cobra, or lower down into your upward facing dog, staying off the mat. Then rolling over the toes into your downward facing dog. Into our resting posture. Raising the left leg up. Extending it up. Bending that knee. Then drawing the knee towards the chest. Lifting on the ball of the foot and placing that foot towards the palms of your hands. Then angle the right foot and inhale into our warrior one. Sinking nice and low as you do this. Pistol grip the fingers, again into our Kali Mudra. And then I want you to lean over from here towards me. And then back to center. And then over to the opposite side. So as you do this, keeping the pelvis facing the front, it's just the chest and the arms that are going to move towards the side. As you do this, sinking a bit lower, and inhale, back to center, and exhale towards me on the opposite side. Just holding. And inhale back to center. And exhale, opposite side. Try and work your way down towards the mat or to where you are comfortable. It takes quite a bit of balance and core to keep you here. And inhale back to center. And then drawing the hands down towards the soles of your feet again and stepping back out into plank. And again, either knees, chest, chin, and scooping up into your cobra, dropping the shoulders as you do this, or just lowering down into your chaturanga, locking the toes and pushing all the way back over into your downward facing dog. Back into our resting posture. Then raise the right leg, extending it up, flexing that foot into your three-legged dog. Working the chest towards the knee. And aiming for a nice flat back. Bending that knee, drawing it all the way through the chest, pushing off onto the ball of your foot into a high crescent plank, and then stepping that foot through towards the hands. Angle that back foot and inhale up into warrior one, sinking nice and low. And then pistol gripping the fingertips. And then working your way to the opposite side. It takes quite a bit of balance. Yeah. And back to center, dropping the shoulders, and over towards me. Trying to keep that pelvis towards the front. Don't let it switch out towards the back. And inhale, back to center. And exhale, over to the side. Just holding, finding the balance. And inhale, back to center. And exhale towards me. Opening the chest. Keeping the pelvis towards the front. And inhale back to center. And last time over to the opposite side. And then back to center. Planting the palms down back onto the mat. Stepping back out. Inhale. Exhale. Knees, chest, chin. Or lower down into your chaturanga dandasana. And scooping up into your upward facing dog. Rolling over the toes into your downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking up, just angle the seat bones towards the back of the studio if you're going to do the jump, the little hop, and coming towards the front, and inhale all the way back. And then just releasing the hands into our mountain pose, Tadasana, and just shaking out the legs. Have a little sip or drink of water. I'm just going to have a quick sip. It's quite warm in here. And then for our next series, we're going to inhale up, reaching up, dropping the shoulders, and then exhale, lower down into our chair pose. So remember, in our chair pose, you don't want to be too far forward, you don't want to be up here. You want to sit back and raise the arms up, raising the hands towards the ceiling. And when you look down, you should just see the tips of your toes sticking out. quite intense on all the parts. Everything is activated, holding you, keeping you here. Keep strong arms, activated arms. And then bringing the hands to heart center. Switching over. Right elbow comes towards left knee. And use this to twist you up. And if you're able to look up towards the ceiling and find the balance, then look up towards the ceiling. If not, just keep your gaze soft. Keep it down on the mat. It's all okay. Try and keep the palm at the center of the chest. And just breathe using your Jaya breath. And then back to center. This time, raising the right knee, staying focused down, bending that right knee, and facing, keeping the head down, and extending that right knee out into our warrior three. And then placing the fingers onto the mat and bending down and straightening. And you can bend down and straighten. And bend down and straighten. Just keeping that knee a bit soft and working your way back up. Bringing the hands to heart center and stepping back. And then placing the hands behind the neck, behind the head, and then twisting towards the bent knee. And just holding. And inhale back to center. And exhale towards the extended leg. And inhale back to center. And exhale towards the bent knee. And inhale back to center. And then bringing our hands to heart center. Bending forward, angling that extended foot onto the ball of the toe and pushing back to where we were with a bent knee. Finding the balance. And then lowering that foot down. Staying in this position. Twisting over this time, left elbow towards right knee. And just make sure that the one knee does not pop out as you do this. So just twisting and looking up. If you can, looking up towards the ceiling. Keeping the palm of your hand towards the center of your chest. Finding the breath. And then bringing the hands back to heart center. This time raising the left leg, left knee, keeping our gaze down. And then extending that left leg out. Placing the hands down towards the mat and bending the right knee and then straightening and bend and straighten and bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. And then coming up, bringing the hands to heart center and stepping back Angle that back foot. And inhale up into our warrior one. Then placing the hands, the palms to the back of the head. And inhale. And exhale, twisting towards me. Sinking nice and low. And inhale back to center. And exhale to the opposite side. You might find going in this direction, you don't have as much flexibility. But it's all a work in progress. And inhale back to center. And exhale, facing me. Finding that breath, opening the chest. And then back to center. And then over to the opposite side. And center. Sinking low. And back towards me. Back towards center. And then planting the palms back down onto the mat. Stepping out into plank. And just holding that plank, making sure the palms are right stacked underneath the shoulders. Raise the right knee towards the right elbow. Using the breath. And then back. And then switching, bending the opposite knee to the opposite elbow. And back into plank. Pushing back into our resting posture, into our downward facing dog. And using the breath. Raising that right leg again. Bending the knee, drawing it all the way through the chest, planting it between the palms. Angle the opposite foot. Inhale into warrior one. Sinking nice and low. Exhale, warrior two. Reaching forward. Just holding. Making sure the arms are nice and parallel. And then reversing the warrior into your reverse warrior. Back into warrior two. Reaching forward. And then reverse the warrior again. Cartwheeling the hands back down towards the mat. Stepping back into your plank. And then pushing back into your downward facing dog. Raising the opposite leg up. Bending that knee, drawing it all the way through the chest. And planting it towards the palms. Angle that back foot. Inhale into warrior one. Sinking nice and low. And exhale into our warrior two. Reaching forward and just holding. Using the breath. And then reverse that warrior. And back into our warrior two. Reaching forward. Using the breath. Reversing that warrior. Then cartwheeling the palms back down towards the mat. Stepping back into plank. Just holding up plank. And then knees, chest, chin, or lower down into your chaturanga. And scooping up into your upward facing dog. Rolling over the toes into your downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look up and either step or jump. Inhale all the way up. And exhale into our mountain pose. And then just facing the center of the mat. I haven't given you any resting postures yet. We're saving that for last today. Just finding the breath. And then just stepping the left and the right foot out. You can have the toes facing at a 45-degree angle if you want. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Reaching up. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just stay here. Let's just spend a moment here. Finding the breath. And then swan dive forward. This time, toes coming towards the front and working the crown of the head down towards the mat. And you can pistol grip either toe and then draw the forehead down towards the mat for an even deeper stretch. And then working the hands over to the right side, bringing the forehead down towards the right knee. And then back to center and over to the left or the opposite side of what you were doing. Just trying to work that forehead down towards the knee. And then back to center, placing the right palm down towards the center of the mat, and then opening the chest and extending the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then switching hands and stretching the other side. Opposite hand towards the ceiling. And then back to center. Placing the hands on your hips. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, extend the arms out, bending the knees and forward fold. Just hold. Keeping the arms parallel with the mat, or you can bow them up, lift it. As long as they don't drop down, you want to lift them. And then locking the knees and then straightening the legs. Just shaking them out. And then bringing the seat bones down towards the mat. Just curling up the spine and slowly rolling back down, drawing the knees towards the chest, drawing the heels towards the seat bones, and then lowering all the way down. And then you can gently rock from side to side, massaging the kidneys. Just from side to side. And then if you feel like doing this, you can either have the hands towards the inside of the knee, and you can rock forward and roll back, or keep it on the outside, just rolling forward and back, massaging the whole spine from the bottom, keeping a nice curved spine as you do this. And then stop. And then just placing the soles of your feet down onto the mat so that you can feel them with your fingers if you're flexible, if you have the flexibility. And then inhale, lifting the glutes up off the mat, tucking the shoulder blades in, and just holding. Lifting a little bit higher. And then exhale, lowering one vertebra at a time from the top of the spine down towards the bottom. And then inhale again. And then exhale. And inhale, lift. And exhale all the way down. Just placing the left ankle across onto the right knee. And then threading the hands through to the right side. And just drawing the knee, this knee, right knee towards your chest. And using your left elbow to keep the left knee from coming too close towards the body. And you're going to get a good glute stretch on the outside of the left side. And then slowly releasing and placing the left foot down back on the mat and switching over, placing the right ankle onto the left or the back of the left knee here, and then threading the hands through towards the back of that left knee, and then drawing the knee towards the chest and working with your elbow, if you can, that right knee back. If it wants to come towards your head, I just try and use my elbow to push it away. Try and pull it in a bit deeper if you can. You'll be feeling it all along here. It's a great stretch. And then release. Planting both soles of your feet down. Just lifting one more time, tucking the shoulders in. Getting the glutes off the mat. And then lowering down one vertebra at a time. Extending the left leg, extending the right leg. We're now going to do our Shavasana. Just placing the palms, let them be soft, let them be facing upwards, palms upwards, and the toes and the feet relaxed. And then let your gaze be soft, closing the eyes, just tucking the chin in. And relaxing the shoulders. Just scanning the body. Relaxing the ankles, the calves, the knees, the glutes, the lower part of the back, the chest, the shoulders. Just bringing that awareness to your breath. Taking a nice deep breath through the nose. Just hold the breath. And exhaling through the nose. With each exhalation, relaxing the body even more. And again, deep inhalation through the nose. Just holding the breath to the count of 4. And exhaling to the count of 6. And then just bending that right knee, placing the sole of the right foot down onto the mat, and placing the left hand on the right knee, extending out the right arm, and then just twisting, allowing that knee to work down towards the mat. And if your shoulder wants to come up, it's okay. And let your gaze be towards the palm of the extended hand. And then placing that foot back down onto the mat and bending the opposite leg, switching over, this time right hand to left knee, and then twisting over and across and down. And then let your gaze be towards the extended arm, working that knee down towards the mat. And then rolling over onto our right side and just placing the right arm underneath our head as a cushion. And when you feel ready, we're going to work our way back towards our seated position where we began at the beginning of our session. Taking your time to come up. And then bringing our hands to heart center and opening our eyes. And namaste, everyone.